Thunder will strike Premier League referees very soon.
Let me tell you something. In a few years' time, when we look back at this season, nobody remember that they said just win the league. I've told you know that me, I've lost the league twice, 1 point. Nobody remembers all of those things. If you don't win the league, now you lose. What is that way you talk that story? Now you lose. Oga win league, sky striker.
Story.
The talk say the Premier League this thing. Nobody send you, Baba.
You know where it has even got into? You know where it has even got into? It don't get tiring to they complain about referee decisions every week. Because
of course,
everybody don't collect. Everybody don't collect.
We'll talk about that again. Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that referee? So referee do something, I know nobody talk again.
Everybody they collect now. Everybody they collect.
Saying that it's referees that are sabotaging them. That's what we are talking about. Anything happens, we always talk about it. Because
but that's what they are doing.
Now
it looks like because I don't insult their family.
You go touch another person.
I don't insult their family. They say any 50-50 decision cannot go for Arsenal. Because how do you award Crystal Palace that penalty against Liverpool on Saturday afternoon, and then Gabriel Jesus gets kicked on his ankle inside the box, and you say he's not even what the referee going to look at it. It's a different
VAR. It's a different referee. Different discretion.
What's the meaning of different referee? What's the meaning of different referee?
Sorry. The problem with the game now is that there are, when we're growing up watching the game, right, 10 years ago, there are basic things that all of us knew that this one, you understand, is an equalizing knowledge amongst all of us. You understand? Yep. But now, everybody interprets the game as per how if you say they just feel small fever, that's how they interpret the game. So there's no base point that we can all agree on that this one is a penalty. This one is handball. Back in the day, as bad as it was, we could tell what is ball to hand, right? And you got to say, this one a ball to hand. You understand? That was the only argument we had. But these days, when they will say he has made his hand bigger than his body, his hand is moving towards the ball, he's not natural position. So we've created this plenty, syntax for the basic things that we used to do before.
I can't, to be very honest, I've been a batter before. But to be honest, your ball has a point. Because what they have noticed, these referees is looking like some of these referees subconsciously, reputation can decide or prejudice. And they won't admit it publicly. But this guy, that's what he do. This one, that sort of thing. Because that kick on Gabriel Jesus, he got the ball first. By all standards, it should be a penalty because the guy clearly kicked him. But you see, it's also one of those. The reason why maybe they banter in it, say no be penalty. You see, when Chelsea Everton, when Sterling, one Arsenal fan they answer me for Twitter. I said, how is that not a foul? One Arsenal fan they answer me. He say, well, it might maybe a foul in a primary 4 children's game. I said, hey, okay. Now that they have kicked Gabriel Jesus, we are crying all over the timeline. You don't know. You don't know that it will touch you too.
That's what I'm saying. That the game for me, I said at the beginning of this season's one of the episodes. I think it was this season. I said, look, we have to come to a point where where we all, because it's either we keep bantering about it, or it comes to a point where everybody, when it happens to this person, everybody cries foul and says, because there has to be a point where obviously managers do a lot at the moment, right? Managers are doing their own jobs, focus with their teams, their schedule is hectic enough. But once this manager says, like, for example, Mourinho, AS Roma, Europa League final, right? Every manager that is a professional should have gone back and watched that game, watched the incidents, and said, look, this is unacceptable. Because it's Jose Mourinho, he has won plenty of trophies. But what if it's you that you haven't won anything before?
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And somebody does that to you. You get that takes away the only chance. Just imagine somebody did that to David Moyes, right? Who has been in the game for a long time. We all agree he's a good manager. and somebody went and blew nonsense in his European final. So there has to be a point where everybody stops looking away, where it is like you will never walk alone type of thing. Until that happens, until that is the case, hold on. Until that is the case,
they want. It looks like that's what they want.
If
they
I
want
play you
to look away.
So if I play Liverpool, Ten Hag against Young Club, and a decision goes in favor of Ten Hag, you get after the game, Ten Hag should analyze the game dispassionately enough to say, you know what, today it went our way, but that should not be the record. Because if it goes against my team, I will not be happy about it. Until managers get to that level where there is that level of dispassionate analysis and the fact they want, because the referee will say, you don't like it, but your colleague is backing me. So there'll always be a way to shift side. So you have to make the PGMOL uncomfortable to a point where there is no sides they're taking. You understand? That's for me, that's the solution.
I totally agree. I totally agree, because it feels like when that Liverpool thing happened, and it was an opportunity when the Liverpool goal was disallowed. It was an opportunity for managers to really stand up and be very unanimous and say, we're tired of this BS. We're tired of this nonsense. It cannot happen again. There had to be a point where managers were threatening, we're absolutely going wild, where we cannot have this again. This cannot be happening in the so-called best league in the world, Well, when Arteta said what he said, obviously I agree he went overboard, but I understand why he said what he said, because in the moment he was very angry.
He did not go overboard. The people,
we spoken about this thing before.
When I say overboard, when I say overboard, there was a tone which he used, like he was questioning the integrity of the league, and I honestly, with the referees, I can say, I can banter, I can joke about it, but I cannot believe, I don't want to think about it that, some of these decisions are premeditated. I don't want to think that they are deliberately trying to victimize someone.
I don't believe they are premeditated. I believe it is a lack of competence, but I don't want to use competent. I want to use a lack of base, like they should be black and white in football, right?
Yeah.
There are too many gray areas of interpretation. These broadcasters interpret the game like this. So for example, right?
Yeah.
Being Sports, for example, right, have a different technology, with how they cover the game. And that's fair, that's fair game, right? Now, if you watch the United
they call you be again.
No, the Mami Water.
I think that's right.
They call you before
Mami Water.
This will be when they call you before you start to record. When you say that when you don't press record, like they call.
Now my phone not in your own.
That you don't know, because now you hang. Because people like say that they call you, say that they get.
I know my phone is I'm just saying a glow they use. Okay. Anyway, so I was saying what was I saying? Did you guys hear me to the point where I said, being Sports, for example, right?
Yeah.
Being have this technology where the way they analyze goals, they have analysts on the side who are going through all the checks. So, for example, the Champions League goal is against United, the free kick, the ZS free kick. Now, being spotted out that the wall was not long enough, from the free kick taker. Do you understand? Now, that is something that didn't pop up in UEFA's, refereeing this thing. The referee didn't flag it. The VAR didn't flag it. Now, what that means is that everybody's interpreting the game from a different prism. They're seeing the game through their own prism. So what that means is that there are different parameters to referee the game. Now, that should not be the case in the world's biggest game. It should not be the case. There should be a set of checks. So after we spoke about this, after the Liverpool game, there were some checks that were now involved. Please confirm to me that the decision is this. You come back to me. have been confirmed that is this thing. Okay, check with him. So there's a fail safe. Now, until that happens, where in the game there is a baseline for decisions, we will keep interpreting the game as to how I understand it, right? So, for example, La Liga, for example, La Liga have this different way of covering their league. That's great. That's from a creative point of view. But it should be a baseline to interpreting laws that is across the entire game. That when a kid, that is just beginning to become cultivated into football, watches and says, this is an offside. It's an offside. There's no argument. You cannot be offside from your half. You get, if the ball strikes your body and strikes your arm, it cannot be a goal. This should be clear things. You understand? So we should delete all those. Oh, he's interfering with play, interfering with goalkeeper. Those things should be cut out of the game completely. If you're offside, you're offside.
So my own is this, right?
My own build up.
My own is that the laws.
You is absolutely spot on. You is absolutely spot on. The more complicated the rules are, because football used to be a lot very simple, black and white. We can see you're outside. You kick somebody inside the 18-yard box, it's a penalty. You pull somebody, you push somebody. We knew these things were foul. All of a sudden, referees are saying he has to be stronger. He's a big man. He has to be stronger. He's a big player. He has to be
for studio.
You have to be stronger. Oh, he kicks him, but it's not enough for him to go down. What the heck does that mean?
That's the one. You see, that's the one in the Robert. Make I just stop you. That's the one that pisses me off the most, because football is played. I don't know how many whatever per hour. The physical speed at which football is played, then the speed of mind, the speed of thoughts at which you have to be at to be able to play the game. And then somebody is in full swing, right? And you touch the person. I promise you, there are slightest touches that can bring a player down if they are in full swing.
Can I tell you an experience? I was jogging one morning. And when I jog, I don't jog with so much speed. I'm jogging, I'm taking my time, I'm jogging, looking. Came on my blind side, and the boy just brushed me. My brother, I fall down for road like this. Not be joke. When the boy hit me, I'm not supposed, as in, if you see the boy, you see me, you go say, why this boy go
push this
guy man down? But the point is, I'm emotion. So any touch can just put you
on. Let me now,
when somebody is running, when somebody is running in football, any little touch it's very significant.
Let me give you another example, and this is why for me, I don't particularly have a problem with the laws, because I think you have enough laws to have a good game. My problem is with the people interpreting it. I think the people interpreting it don't have enough understanding of the game. And that's why the last time we talked about, when you was talking about Colina saying he had to go and watch back these things to know how this player behaves. Now, that's a guy that probably didn't play the game actively, but he wanted to have a better understanding of the job he wanted to do. And I think that's the gap now. You have people who don't really understand the game, people who now want to be superstars, despite they don't understand the game. Their ego is bigger than it has ever been. And against Everton, Michael Oliver gave Palmer a yellow card. Now, looking at it from behind, I thought it was a yellow card because, bro, they're not touching. That's clear diving, right? Give him a yellow card. But I saw the replay, the replay of the action. Palmer had the ball, tried to dribble past the guy. The guy didn't touch him, but he went down and stood up immediately and ran after the ball. Now, the captain went to Oliver and be like, why have you carded the guy? He went down, he came back up. Oliver was just use the guy say, no, he went down at first, then he now told me I came up. And I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, this is really a lack of understanding. Because if you know this game to an extent, when you are playing, there are times you anticipate contact. That's why I said speed of thought, speed of mind. There are times you anticipate contact. There's a sequence of play also where this happens a lot. If two people are going for a ball 50-50, running towards a ball 50-50, the guy on the left anticipates that the guy on the right wants to come shoulder to shoulder, right? So he's waiting. He's already going in with his shoulder. If the guy on the right steps out of that challenge, there's a chance that guy that's already going in with his shoulder falls off. It is the speed of play. I'm telling you, I've seen that multiple times. Multiple times. It's the speed of play. So there are times you play the game, the speed you are going at, you have the ball, you have touched the ball past someone in dribbling them, you are anticipating they will contact you, you have gone down. The guy has gone down, he knew that there was no contact, jump back up immediately. I'm like, if the guy is trying to call you, there's a different thing.
So in jurisprudence, right? Legal matters. There's a reason why cases are referred to. So when you're building for a case, you say, give me the history of, the top lawyers will say, with all their paralegals, give me the case from X this year, because you want to draw, antecedents.
Yep.
Do you understand? Now, I believe that, there should be games where that alter direction, the direction of travel of how we referee the game. Liverpool's game, for example, is clearly one of those kind of games where, now going forward, there has to be a complete, series of checks between the on-field and the VAR to ascertain the decision to make going forward. Now, the Palmer thing, for example, I think that referees are not stupid. So the best referees are not stupid. I don't have a problem with a referee adding some charisma to his work, right? And off the back of his ingenuity, becoming a superstar of it, right? Colina is a superstar, not because he wanted to be but he refereed the game well, but also showed his charisma in refereeing. You understand? So he would square up to you. He would give you the eyes, all that kind of stuff. So, but that's an appendage to his primary assignment.
Yep.
Right? He did his job first. So if Michael Oliver wants to be a star, I don't have a problem with you. Do the job first. Now, while I agree with I understand what Rufai is saying, but why I don't want to be too hard on the referees is, first of all, it's a tough job, right? Secondly, is when a referee makes a mistake, right, they should know they made a mistake, right? They should be communicated with. That's why I feel like the VAR needs help. The referees need help, not necessarily to change their calls all the time, but to inform them when they think, or when somebody thinks that they made a mistake. That way, that yellow card, for example, Palmer has to have, in the referee's mind, Palmer has to have a clean slate going forward. So yes, it's a yellow card on the books, but in the referee's mind, he knows that I made a mistake there. So the next time Palmer makes a yellow cardable offense, he has to wave Palmer on because, I understand, that was a mistake. Do you understand? Right? So that's why I think that common sense comes in. Now,
quickly, before you move on to another thing, that offside, the Liverpool goal was called off for offside, Abi, and wrongfully so, right?
Yeah.
Now, what we've talked about, interpretation and all that, there's clearly an automatic offside technology that the Premier League has refused to use. So if you're saying you want to help the referees, you want to this, you want to that, that's an unprecedented mistake in the game, despite the fact that you have VAR.
The Liverpool offside wasn't an offside issue. It was a communication issue.
Yeah, it wasn't an offside issue.
Yeah.
It was a communication lapse. The issue of the referee. The VAR
was a lack of protocol.
Yeah, the VAR didn't know what the on-field decision was, so he just thought that the on-field decision was a goal. So he just looked at it and said, "Check." It was too late.
But again, what you're saying goes back to my point about equalizing knowledge across board, equalizing the rules. So a football game is a global game, right? You cannot pick and choose what to use and what not to use. You feel me? Except in leagues where it is financially impossible at the moment. For example, in the AFCON, for example, where you maybe don't have the money to do the goal line technology. Do you understand? Or whatever it is. That should be the only excuse. But as far as the rules in place, there should not be in this part of the world, we referee this way. Now, this is my final thought on this refereeing thing before we move on to something else, is the issue of, I think the clearest thing this season is that VAR is implemented the wrong way, right? And you were going back to talking about speed of thought and all that kind of stuff. I think that the biggest flaw I find with VAR is when you have to watch something 20 times, which doesn't tell you the speed of motion and all that kind of stuff. That's why the referees need better training. Because when you leave your house, for example, sometimes you leave your house, right? And you are halfway to your office and you're thinking, oh shit, I didn't unplug the iron, right? The more you think about it, the more doubt it creates in your mind. No more, I don't think I'll unplug that iron. If you have somebody at home, you're more likely that you will call that person and say, I beg, go my room, go check, say, I don't know the plug. Now, more often than not, when they go home, they'll check that the iron was unplugged, actually, right? Now, what that means is that the more you look at something, you get, the more doubt it creates in your mind. When, in earnest, on the pitch, the referees before were trained to watch the game in a way. You understand? I watch the game, I follow the action, I see it, I call it. Right. That's what we have to go back to. Right? That the referees trust themselves again. Now, while we're seeing so many bad decisions, that the referees don't trust themselves again, or they've just become lazy because they have the review, or because somebody's going to tell them to overturn their decision anyway, so they're lazy about the on-field calls. Now, what that tells me is that while we're refereeing the game in slow motion, and that you cannot referee the game like that. You cannot referee the game like that. The game is played at 60 miles per hour thereabouts. That's how you must referee the game, except for clear and obvious errors, where this is a clear error or this is a mistaken red card. This is a clear penalty that should be given. A stonewall penalty should be given. Somebody has clearly hacked somebody down. But in terms of tackles in the box, if the referee sees it, right, the referee should be allowed to make that call. That's why I think we should go back to the game. You understand? Because unless we do that, we'll keep having this thing where the game is played at 60 miles per hour. Then all of a sudden, somebody stops the frame and slows it down and starts watching it. That's not how the game was played. And I feel like as far as we keep watching that thing in slow motion, we'll keep making some ridiculous calls. So
I agree
go back to I'll wrap up. The Chelsea Barcelona, right? The Piqué handball, right? That's a handball. That should be a penalty. Piqué has handled the ball. He has handled the ball, and not just handled the ball. He has changed direction of travel of the ball. The Roma this thing Europa League final, right? That's a clear obstruction of where the ball is traveling.
I would see that one.
That's a handball. But in terms of things like there was a tackle, I think the referee should make that call.
So I see my honestly, with tackles, I think the referee should make it, but the reality of that also, like I said, for me, I feel like the interpretation is a problem, right? Because all of these things are supposed to help referees. Back in the day when, we had only the referee in the center circle and his linemen and court official, there were lots of mistakes as well. The difference was there was no VAR to see that this offside call was so wrong. We didn't have that technology then. We didn't have all of that then, right? So imagine if the goal line technology was subject to interpretation too. This is what we'll be doing as well.
You're getting it wrong. Goal line should stay. Offside should be semi-automated.
I'm saying, I just made an example that The reason we don't have any issue with the goal line is because there is no interpretation there. It is either it has crossed the line,
it's purely the mission.
You are not leaving it to anybody to interpret. That's why that has gone so well. So the problem with this for me is interpretation. And it's the reason why I brought out that automatic offside situation. Because see, the automatic offside thing has been programmed in a way we don't look at it from the shoulder downward. We only look at it from here, where if the ball touches you here, it's not handball. It's automatic. The thing draws the line itself. It is not human beings drawing the line. The thing draws the line itself, offside or onside. We move on. There's no, the referee, okay, let's draw the line now. Hey, give me that angle, give me that angle, give me that angle. Before, no. There's none of those. Automatic, we move on.
Where where get two left eye, we go draw line.
Because they give me that angle.
You get, I always try to have a table. Say, like for example, I like things to be in order, right? So if I see something that is now kept like this, you get, to another person, that thing is straight. To me, the thing is scratching my body. Like, so imagine having that kind of, like, imagine now relying on somebody who doesn't have a sense of let's say what a straight line should be. You get, a pin and for here, pin and for there.
You understand? Because now human
being, draw the line like this.
Because now human being, they draw this line. Now why we don't see some court? Now why they call Lukaku offside for Carabao Cup final against Liverpool? Now why so? You see, with the tackles, I feel like the referees can make the calls, right? But there are still some tackles that in the heat of the game, against speed of the game, the ref might miss it. I think the red card that this guy got, what's the name again? Romero or something, the Spurs defender against Chelsea. I think the referee completely missed it. It was called back to see that this guy has a dangerous tackle there. So that times the referee will miss it completely. So that's
because the referee missed that. He didn't see that, right? That's why I feel like you see football for all its global, for its globality and the mammoth game, the way the game is. It is the most far behind game in terms of the way the rules are. And that's why your God is so great, because they give everybody everything. You understand? You say when I get the biggest game, make I throw some spanner for one, and they argue and they go. Because for me, if we're going to go in a direction where you can review things, then there has to be a limit. Then the managers, right, have to be the ones to say, you know what, I want to challenge that call, right? Or the captain says, I want to challenge that call, like the tennis, right? So you have 3 challenges in a game.
That one will take forever. 45 minutes.
No, it won't. So
because 45 minutes.
What you are saying is that we trust the referee to referee the game, right? But when you're not satisfied with a call, I want to challenge the call, right? So maybe you have
footballers will take advantage of it.
No, it's 2 calls in the game now. It's 2 calls now. You don't challenge it. If you like challenge first, the game starts, they tackle you. You challenge the first one. We know that we're getting out of the way, so let's now rely on me. You understand? The referee the game. You understand? So it's also a form of accountability. So if you say, okay, 2 calls per half, or 1 call per half, 1 call in one half, 1 call in the other half. So the captain says, I want to challenge that call. So that's 4 calls in a game. I think that's great.
Another angle. We might be the same way we're suffering. We don't have the profile of footballers that are being produced now. We complain about it too much, that they are not the same as we used to. It could be the same thing we're suffering with referees. The referees who are just pure talented and are ready to do everything to be so good at their job. They are not. We don't find them.
This is the problem with refereeing, right? If you do the research on how referees are chosen, referees like in the Premier League, referees that referee in the Premier League, there's only one Australian referee in the Premier League, right? All the referees are are locals. They're citizens of the UK. Now, I see the sense in that. But you see, anything that you don't make highly competitive, you are bound to have maybe not the best quality, the best crop of them.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So referees, you cannot be a Nigerian referee in the Premier League. You can't. They're not going to allow
it. It needs to be as cutthroat as being a professional footballer. It needs to be.
So it has to be as cutthroat because the Austrian guy. In fact, I have the article. If you read the article, it was an article done by some guy on ESPN. He did the article about how the guy is he's like a unicorn, in the English game. Now there has to be an aspirational level to refereeing, which a lot of people have. Just understand, because there could be a very incredible referee in France that watches the Premier League and be like, I want to aspire to referee a game like this. I'm going to work my ass off to get to the top. But that top you cannot get there because it's a ceiling. Because you are not, just because you don't have the passport. So until you open that up as well, there will not be the absolute best of the best.
I agree.
That's a brilliant suggestion.
Leave the referees alone.
Having said that, I think that there are some novel banters in football, right? One of the novel content in football. The special one content. I think that was the beginning of something for managers, and it gave press conference a different sell. I think we've spoken about this on the podcast before. The second one for Mourinho was Mourinho had a lot actually, but I'll just mention these two. The second one was the Champions League football heritage, right? You see that football heritage thing? Will never die.
It will never die.
Season, every season there will be a need for that video.
That same video is what should be played to Chelsea fans now. It can never die. It's the same.
Now, leave that video. Another novel content, meme, whatever you want to call it, right? Is that elephant on the tree.
I know.
You see that elephant on the tree? That elephant on the tree will never go away.
I don't know who brought that thing out. The first time I saw that thing, I think I saw it on Facebook. Somebody said, the elephant is on the tree. We don't know how we got there, but we are sure of one thing: it will come down.
Oh, yeah. When I grew up, they want Arsenal. Canon. I know say Arsenal. The Arsenal main logo. Canon, I know. How elephant enter the picture? I don't know. Canon, I know. You know, that's why you see Canon like this with plenty mouth. You say, this one are gunners. You get. How elephant? I don't know where elephant come from. Now they don't wear when they post on for group. Where elephants? The elephants fall like this. Oh wow! Thank God. This elephant thing, I love it, bro. It will never go away. And speaking of which,
on a serious note, I think Arsenal should go and get Ivan Toney. I think Arsenal should get. I think they should break their neck and get Ivan Toney. I think
Arsenal fans say that. Arsenal fans say
hype.
Mikel, Ivan Toney cannot fit the way Mikel wants to play.
May I use this
What kind of nonsense talk is that one?
May I use this juncture to remove my hand from Ivan Toney, the Ivan Toney, entourage? I know they're the roster again. I don't call my hand. So you can go ahead.
Please. Because I just feel like Arsenal need a centre forward, and I'm a big fan of Gabriel Jesus. I like him. He's not a number 9. He's not. His hunger and desire to score is not as he's not.
He went to Victory said this thing that time.
I think Ketia is a better number 9. Ketia wants to be.
Oh, Tim Vickery said it that time. Tim Vickery said it that time that he's the winger. You said Tim Vickery is a fool. I remember.
Wale, your Darwin Nunes that you signed 300 million pounds. He's missing open net.
No,
300 million pounds.
That boy is a big fool. He go play at Haaland.
He's missing open net every week.
But I think that Nunes will get better. He's playing well now.
Get. You know the funny thing. The funny thing. Gabriel Jesus doesn't even get the amount of chances that Darwin Nunes gets. You know why?
No, he doesn't.
Darwin Nunes is center forward. He likes to be in a position to score. Gabriel Jesus, they hustle. He go there win. He go there back. He go collect ball from midfield. He doesn't want to be in a position.
You know how I know so I don't feel win league with Gabriel Jesus.
And which
interview which they say, it's not really about scoring goals for him. I say this one.
No.
We need to say against super team like Man City. This one says it's not about scoring goals.
The way our team is. Because if we had, I know we deserve
Is it only me or in the net of the hand?
Center forward, who could dominate, who could have beaten Aston Villa a lot this season. They get two gilt-edged opportunities. So Arsenal just need to be a lot more ruthless in the final third.
Amy, fix your network, bro. So
not many teams, when Arsenal are in full flow, and the reason I fancy that Arsenal get a centre forward to win the league, we've got the best defense. We've got the best.
Arsenal have the best back four in the Premier League. I agree with that.
Struggling to create chances, and that's something that's why we're not conceding, because.
Yeah, you have the best back four, but you don't have the best goalkeeper now.
I think they have.
I don't think you can. You can win the league. You can win the league with. I think if you have the best back four in the Premier League, that means you're not going to concede a lot of goals, right? That means that your keeper, would let in goals that are, one in a blue moon. You get, and because of the way Arsenal play, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, that centre backs are the most important way, are some of the most important pieces of creating the numerical advantage in the half of the opposition. And a lot of people don't. When you see Saliba and Gabriel, kudos to Gabriel has improved a lot. You get a lot. I don't even think that I don't know that if Jordan Timber comes back, Timber can put him out of the side. The way he's playing, except that Tata wants to destroy the chemistry of the team. But the way Arsenal play, you're not going to score a lot of goals against them because of Saliba's quality and Gabriel's quality. Now that's not a coaching thing. That's just a physiological, attribute of the way the centre backs are. Centre backs need to dominate, right? And need to be able to defend space. At the moment, there are no centre backs in the Premier League that can defend space as good as Saliba and Gabriel. They are not any. The last centre back in the Premier League that could defend space that well was Rudiger, right? And Van Dijk used to defend space very well when he was in his prime, Even maybe when Ruben Dias was defending space, I haven't seen Ruben Dias is a very top defender, but the way Man City play with the kind of control they have, I've not seen him defend space as much or being needed to defend space as much because he controls the ball all the time. For Arsenal, teams still break against Arsenal. But one thing is sure, 9 out of 10 times, Saliba will come out tough in that battle.
So for me, that's
why I feel like Arsenal can win the league.
My worry for Arsenal, right? My worry for Arsenal, because I felt like defensively solid, but I think until the second half of the season, because again, if you're trying to win the league, you have to look at obviously who you are competing against. There's Man City, there's Liverpool there now. So obviously, you're not going to go. I'm not.
There's Aston Villa now. Good evening.
Well, we'll see. You know, obviously, you want to win the league against those guys. You're not going to go, oh, I'm not conceding a lot of goals, so I have the best defense in the land. On the eye test, you have the best centre back pairing in the land in terms of dominating, in terms of all of that. You have that on lock. But the reality of it is that if you're going to win the league against these guys, I was surprised with what I saw against Luton. There were situations where I felt like no. I thought Arsenal, you can't be considered like this anymore. You literally can't be considered like this anymore. That's Luton considered 3, or was it? I don't know how many against them. That's why I said until the second half of the season, because also the people you are based on the people you are competing against, the pressure gets more. It gets higher. Second half of the season when you are getting to that running, that's when we'll know. That's when we'll know if you actually got that what it takes, even defensively, to be able to get it done.
At the moment, the only team that has what it takes to win the league in a flurry is Man City. Now, on the same problems that Arsenal have, Liverpool have the same problems as well. I don't think the Liverpool model is sustainable. You get the comebacks are not sustainable. You get at some point Liverpool had a lot of firepower, but if there's anything we know about playing with a lot of gusto, a lot of energy and a lot of vibe, is that there are games where the vibe is not just there, right? Now, what that tells me is that they're winning games by sheer, enthusiasm.
Because it's football heritage. It's football heritage.
Relax. It's football heritage as well. All of that, you can factor all of that in. But as far as a method to winning games, if Arsenal play the way they play, across 38 games, they'll win more games than they will lose. Now, if Liverpool continue to play the way they are playing, where they concede goals first, they will lose more games than they'll win. Because you simply
we don't know.
Because
that's what.
When the season goes on and further, the players will get more tired. It's simple. Do you get? And to be fair, Liverpool have not had the kind of I don't think they've had the kind of injuries to key personnel. Do you get that most teams have had?
No, I think beginning of the season. Was it beginning of this season? There was a time they had a lot. Diogo Jota was out. Was it beginning of this season?
No, last season.
Last season. Okay.
Last season.
Salah is in that attack. Salah is the most important piece of the attack, right? Alisson, important piece, fit. Van Dijk fit all season. Matip, sorry to him, sadly he's got an injury, but Matip has never been the guy that will play 20 games on the stretch anyways. Do you understand? So I think that Matip, is a big blow in terms of squad rotation and being able to rest some players and bring some players in and out. But right back, Trent has been fit. No, left back, I think Robertson is no longer at his best. I think
Robertson is injured.
No, Robertson is not. Yeah. But Robertson also is not playing.
I don't think he's number one anymore.
Up and down again because of Trent's new position. So
you get
no.
So I don't think he's number one anymore. So this guy who is playing is more like the Simicast guy is number one at the moment.
No, right? Robertson is injured though.
No, Robertson.
I know he's injured. But even before the injury, right? His role has diminished.
His role has changed, but he still did not.
It has changed. Yes, it has changed. Yes,
it has changed because his influence has diminished.
No.
Trent's role has changed as well.
Yes. It's not for the thing is that what happened is that what happened is that because you don't have those guys in midfield, you can't afford to have both full backs flying up and down again.
Yes, now.
So one has
basically, instead of leaving two centre backs to dominate as Liverpool used to do, and you have two flying wingers, you have three, so they'll shift into like a three.
Yes.
But if you watch from last season, there is a method to what I'm saying. Last season, Robertson's numbers had diminished, and there were those midfielders there. He wasn't his old self, right? The assists were not there. The defense was not there as well. He looked like a normal, like Robertson is like best left back in the Premier League.
Nah,
Robertson looked like a normal.
That's
no, it's not an unfair assessment. It is what I noticed.
Trent's assist also dropped.
Now,
but
Actually, Robertson had more assists than Trent last season. Go and check.
Season, yeah.
Robertson had more assists.
Robertson wasn't last season. Obviously, he had 1 or 2 assists here and there, but I don't think he was at that level where, we know he can perform. It's not been the season.
What Wale just said. Wale said that
Robertson had more assists than Trent last season, and last season everybody was poor. So don't use last season as a realistic.
Why Trent? Listen.
When you say
Trent?
So
sorry, guys.
So because everybody was poor, we should say Robertson was good.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that because everybody was poor. The whole team was poor.
You say last season everybody was poor. Waiting concern me with everybody.
This is what he does. This is what he does do. Now criminal move. Because they don't
They say Robertson dropped his standard last season. He said everybody was poor. Waiting concern me with everybody.
Who won't score the goals now like before? Now, what are you saying? Salah was poor. How Salah wants to score?
So, answer the question first. So, because everybody did bad last season, most of saying they good.
No, that's a criminal move.
My God. Oh, I don't die. Oh, that's a very useless thing to say. Like,
you go stop this. Don't try that nonsense again. You say because everybody's bad. That's what you say he's good.
He was good. You know the way Man U fans they like do. Everybody go play bad. They will say no, but Rashford was playing well, so everything is good. He will not be well with you.
So honestly, I think we've already talked about what it is. Klopp don't change the way that backline they operate. Even Trent, if you look at Trent, now that's why see the position where Trent they score the first goal and the last goal in that game against which game was that? Was it Fulham? That game that
Fulham, yes. Was Fulham now?
It was Fulham. It was Fulham. Fulham. Because now Trent is not high flying right back. He's in the middle. When they have the ball, he's coming way into the middle to play. So the way Klopp is using his back line now is different. And you can say it's because you don't have the same guys in midfield anymore. It's also because you don't have them Sadio Mane, you don't have Mane because those guys were very good, short, long in behind. They were good anywhere.
I hear what you're saying. It's a valid point, but I'll tell you why it's hard to analyze Trent and Robertson on the same level. Now, Trent's assists obviously that is the first thing that jumps at you when you watch, when he was flying high. But aside that, Trent's technical quality, right, is one of the keys to Liverpool's creativity in the team.
Of
right
course.
now, for switch of play, for speed of passing, all that kind of stuff. So aside his assists, right, no matter how, if his assist numbers go down, there's still something else he gives to the team. He can be the assist before the assister. You understand? Because I think he's the most, maybe aside maybe Szoboszlai and maybe McAllister, those are very technical players. But in terms of precision, he's still one of maybe their best player. Do you get? So their roles are similar on the surface.
I think so.
Yeah, that's what I think, man.
Yeah, I think.
I feel like Liverpool's model is not sustainable.
In terms of when I was watching their game against, I think it was the Fulham game. When Trent moves into the middle, there was a clear pattern to handing him the ball, get him into when he moves into the middle, get him in the ball, get him on the ball, because his ability to pass long, play, very tight passes, so good. He's so good, and he's so key to how they play. The question is, can Liverpool just go and get a fullback? Just go and sign a fullback and play Trent in midfield, because I think it's still a liability. Because when Liverpool have to attack, against Crystal Palace, when Crystal Palace were on the counter, and I think that's why that's why in the second half, club took off the Japanese midfielder and brought in Joe Gomez and pushed Trent into midfield, because when Crystal Palace were attacking, Trent was still a liability. So what's the point of playing him as a fullback when you know that if your back's against the wall, he's the most redundant player in your team in that position? So
yeah,
I think
let me say something there. I feel like if you play him, if you play him in midfield, I don't know how to explain it, but he still needs that space to run. And you can only have that on the right. Because we've done this thing about playing him midfield before.
That him not being able to just drift.
He just needs that space. If not, you won't get the best. If you put
it's called for midfielders, it's called creating separation. You understand? Now,
maybe he doesn't have that IQ yet.
You don't know. He doesn't have. No, it's a technique to create separation. Now, the best ball retainers, or the best quote unquote fresh resistant players, the first thing they do when they receive the ball in tight spaces is that they can create separation. If they're not making the first line pass, they create separation. So they have this thing where they step back a little bit and create that distance between you and the ball. So they can see, they just have that extra, they can see it. Now, if you follow all these tactical analysis and everything like that, that's what they call it, creating separation, between themselves and the player, which allows them to make that extra pass. Now, I understand what Wale is saying in the sense that he's a player that, when you play on the right back position or the left back position, it is a safe zone in many ways, right? When you're attacking, it's a safe zone because you have no traffic from here. Do you understand? So you're concerned with this is your line of vision, right? Your entire pitch to yourself. So I can ping, okay, when you have Trent's quality, I can ping to left back, I can ping to center forward. If I'm in trouble, I can just, play forward. Now, when you're in midfield, you are in trouble constantly. So that ability to receive the ball, that half turn, it might look like, because he can play the ball well, put him there now. If you put him there, wahala. That kind of thing. Yeah. Which is why the most logical place to put him in is at the right of midfield. And the problem there is that you put him there, is his quality overwhelmingly so good that it beats a natural in that position, which at this moment is Dominic Szoboszlai.
Yes. He doesn't. He doesn't.
So weird. Liverpool
that's the quagmire the team is in.
Liverpool had a funny problem on their hands with Trent, and it's crazy that I'm even saying it's a problem because if you say probably says it's a problem, people can even come after. It's a funny one because
Liverpool have the same problem that United have with Wan-Bissaka. They are the same. They are opposites.
Like just flip them. Just flip him around.
That is the same
thing. Which is why I will not blame Southgate for not playing him. Honestly, I won't.
You said this is why?
Southgate, I don't blame Southgate for not playing him. Because Trent has the only lower.
Except you have that midfield that Liverpool used to have. You see Trent doing his stuff and getting a lot of plaudits for scoring goals and for making assists. But as a team, you always find that thing lacking there. Because, for example, you play the game against Fulham and Liverpool found a way to win 4-3. If you're going to win the league, you don't want that kind of situation to happen often.
You're not going to win the league like that. I'm sorry.
You are not going to win the league like that. So you're going to have those guys. Man, Trent is the best in the world. He's the greatest. This is the greatest that. But as a team, there's something wrong. So that's what I mean by it's a funny problem that I don't know how. And it's funny that they don't now even have they don't have a solid enough midfield. You're playing McAllister,
Another problem, and nobody wants to say it, is that McAllister is a luxury player. Let me just tell you now.
When you say when you say luxury player, please break it down.
You need the team to be perfect for him to excel. You need a proper DM beside him for him to be able to move.
But because if you need a proper DM beside him, that doesn't make him a luxury player now. He's
no, when I say he's a luxury player is that when you have an issue like what we have now, where we need him to do a job sometimes, he cannot do it. He can't. We don't have a DM now, so you need him sometimes to drop deep because Szoboszlai even does it better than him. McAllister cannot receive the ball
that's not his problem.
No. That can be. That can be. What you wanted to say? So McAllister cannot receive the ball. What?
Under pressure, receive the ball, right, and make it pass without losing the ball or giving the possession away. He cannot. He can't.
So he's definitely not a first place midfielder. So he can't be playing that place that they are playing.
I told you guys.
In that second phase, then he's not exceptional. That's what I'm telling you. He's not.
In the first phase. McAllister is the final third player. Do you understand? So McAllister is a box-to-box player. I think that the best midfielders that play for. So what I hear you saying is the problem with Eriksen. I have with Eriksen. Do you understand? And I can guarantee you that McAllister is way better than Eriksen in terms of doing a job. Eriksen is the most liability player when we don't have the ball.
And because of now you have IMB, now you're saying Eriksen now.
Now, grace of God.
After his
grace of God
issue, right? But bro, so it's a question of, does this guy have a skill that to some extent negates, his deficiencies? Right? That's why I had a problem with Pogba, for example. People said, oh, does Pogba produce 15 goals a season, right, and 15 assists a season? That means that I can cope with the nonsense he does.
I can look away from all the nonsense.
Do you understand? He can't, and that's why that's where at the moment, that's why Chelsea fans are going to have a problem with Caicedo soon, and Enzo soon. You understand? That's why I see Chelsea and they're dragging Enzo up and down. Yeah, it's Enzo. What is this? So that's the thing. So when a player has a skill that you can say, oh, this is this player's skill, and because of this overwhelming skill, I can look away from the other things. But McAllister, what I see from him is a box-to-box player, right? He is great in the second phase, in the second phase, to deliver the final pass or to link, the attackers and create a moment of magic, that kind of thing. I don't believe that, you can ask him to do that job he's doing. Because honestly, when I watch Liverpool play now, he's actually doing more than I thought he would do. Right? He's a central midfielder playing. You're asking him to play at the heart of the team.
Okay, maybe what I should say is that he can't play for Liverpool, because if you say box to box, if I think of if you say box to box, when I think of box to box, I think of Wijnaldum. When I think of attacking midfielder, I think of Szoboszlai. McAllister cannot fit into these two people I've mentioned. He can't. He cannot. And he's not also a DM. So what is he?
Did you watch McAllister for Argentina? What did you think he did for Argentina?
McAllister for Argentina, he did a job for Argentina, but most times Argentina were containing and allowing the attackers to do their job. That's what they were doing.
For me, it's wrong to say McAllister is one of Liverpool's best signings this season. Right? Now, the problem I find with McAllister is that the team doesn't have the energy in midfield that it used to have. So if the ideal pairing for McAllister is a guy like, let's say, Casemiro behind McAllister, you get Casemiro, McAllister, and Szoboszlai, the great midfield.
So it won't be a 4-3-3. It will be a 4-2-3-1.
No, it can be a 4-3-3. You get.
So
all you need is a
4-3-3. The problem
he cannot play on that left alone. He can't.
The problem with McAllister.
Nobody plays on the left. You're making a mistake. Midfielders don't play on the left. Now, when you draw a 4-3-3, right? Except you are drawing a 4-3-3 that Barcelona used to play, where you had, in fact, even Barcelona 4-3-3, there was no left midfielder, because how it works is that you constantly have people who are taking up positions, right, momentarily, but in terms of building up, there has to be. So let's use Real Madrid. Real Madrid's midfield is the best midfield combination of the last decade, in my opinion. Right? Casemiro, Toni Kroos, Luka Modric. That's the midfield that that betters any other midfield in the world in the last 10 years. The only other midfield that comes close is your Sergio Busquets, Xavi Hernandez, and who was the third wheel?
That's the decade before now. Iniesta.
Iniesta was up top.
No. Iniesta was in midfield. It was in the left side midfield. So you had Sergio Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. Up top, you always have those front three. It could be Eto'o, Messi, where you have David Villa, you have Thierry Henry, or whoever it is that you have.
So if you ask me, right, which is your better midfield in those two midfield?
Well, that one hard. That's hard.
For me, the better midfield is easy for me. It's not an argument. The Real Madrid midfield is the better one, right? Because if you watch, there's an analysis on. I'll send the video to Wale. Man, when we get back to the studio, it's easier to incorporate these things. There's an analysis I watched on how Real Madrid, I think it was Ancelotti, explaining the Madrid midfield. I think not Ancelotti, it was Zidane actually. People think that Casemiro, constantly stayed in the holding role.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't.
You understand? Yeah. Casemiro actually was the one mopping up and hunting people down.
Cruz was more sitting. It's like the drink water Kante scenario where they were thinking
you
Kante
understand?
was
Now,
DM.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. You get Cruz comes in and sits. Modric is the mobility in the midfield. Casemiro is the sweeper. You understand? Now, when I say that, some people can take it out of context. But the key thing to note is that all of them can do 50% of what each other can do.
Yep. Yeah. First of all, they are very good on the ball. All of them. They can pass.
You understand?
Then they are ready to work hard as well.
So that's why I said that all of them can do 50% of what each other can do. So in a momentary situation where, in the phase of a game where Casemiro finds himself as a sitter, that 50% will show for him. I can hold the ball and I can pass now. It's not that bad now. You get. It's not that bad. I don't fit the tech play for 2 minutes. You feel me? In a case where he finds himself in the box, come on now, if he score goal now. You understand? It's not that bad. So that's why you see him come up with this kind of goal. But with Liverpool, for example,
no bet so. You see that Xavi and Busquets in midfield. My brother. Those boys will hold ball for 3 days. You don't go see them.
No.
They had a system. There was a system they had to work with. Those other guys are
3 days like this. You don't go see ball. 3 days.
They go hold
ball.
And they go hold ball. Me, I go wait for them.
They go hold ball 3 days. You don't go touch them.
That's why. No. Now who you don't go run them?
I go take beat them. I go take beat them when you know they even see ball.
And you hold the ball. You hold the ball now. When more you find them out? Why they when more you find them out? Why they don't do ball again?
Those will tell you say
Messi. Midfield itself was not the problem.
Mourinho go Camp Nou go play. Formation 9-1.
As a bit of that 5 that first time. When he play Ramos on midfield. Say make Ramos go collect. Make go hunt ball collect. They beat him. He say, okay, this will just allow him to have the ball. You get. Just allow him to have the ball. Hold it.
I think what Liverpool needs to do, go into the transfer market in January. Because again, that's what the winter transfer window is for.
Wait, I want to ask one question. I want to ask one question. This is Gavin better than buying a obviously.
I'm coming there now. I'm coming there.
No, Gavin Beck. So let me hold on. Gavin Beck is a solid player, but he's still very young. For me, if you say I should pick one player, that will complement the midfield perfectly, explaining what you've done with this Casemiro thing, is Declan Rice. Because Declan Rice is actually not a DM. He can do everything. That's the only person.
See, they take eye, they look you, say,
Declan Rice is what we need.
He said that Declan Rice. Oh, I don't say I'm before I start by him. He said that Declan Rice. See, let me tell you, guy. You need. I don't know why Liverpool went and bought Gavin Beck, but because I feel like maybe Klopp got cocky early on in the transfer window and felt, we're going to be fine.
How old is Gavin Beck?
He's 21, though. And he
He's
has only
21?
played
21.
Yes, after he left Ajax, he went to Bayern and was on the bench for 2 seasons.
So maybe
why would I want kill? Wait, so why would I want kill Anthony?
No, Anthony was.
Don't bring that boy from Indonesia that said he's from Brazil. Please don't bring it.
Wait,
that boy is from Indonesia.
So why would I want kill Anthony?
Anthony is improving. I'm liking the changes.
He's actually improving. That much
is improving. I'm liking the changes.
Maybe
now 100 million. No, see the improve.
I see changes. Amazing.
Say 100 million don't improve. I don't understand. 100 million don't improve.
Oh, when I finish product, I finish article.
The client don't go improve again because they play well.
The guy never improved past like that too. Declan Rice, the biggest deal.
It can only get better.
Let me tell you why Arsenal fans. I give the Arsenal fans love. I give Declan Rice. This is the biggest props, right? And it was when I listen to managers, there's something I look for in what they say. The biggest adaptation, and that's why I think Arteta, when Mourinho made the comment about Arteta, like this guy, the way he sees the game is a different class, right? Arteta said when he bought Declan Rice, one of the things he told him is that we want to play the game at a very intense speed. So it hides his flaws, right? But it's also credit to Declan Rice for adapting that quickly. Now, what Arteta told him is that we pass the ball. How often do you see in the first phase when they pass the ball to Declan Rice and he holds the ball and tries to make a turn, right? Which is what Wale is slaughtering McAllister for, because again, it is a skill that not many players have, to collect the ball on the half turn, make a spin, and find. So what he does, he receives the ball and plays into place immediately. Now, that's the biggest attribute to how Arsenal play. Arsenal pass the ball vertically with a lot of pace. So once they pass the ball to Saliba, pass the ball to Declan Rice goes into Odegaard quickly, and from there they transition immediately. Now, the other thing he does very well is an enforcer. So when he wins the ball, when he passes the ball, when the ball is lost, he knows he's a very athletic. He goes in and gets the ball, sweeps up, punches. And because Arsenal play with a numerical advantage, again, going back to the centre-back conversation, centre-backs allow him to win the ball up in places that he would naturally not win the ball if centre-backs were far. Now, what centre-backs being dominant does is that there are no lines between him and the centre-backs. So there's no hole between Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, and Odegaard and the centre-back. So there's no chasm or chasm as you call it. So when the ball is loose, again, when the ball is loose, the ball has about maybe 10 meters to be loose. And because you have a numerical advantage, they will strip the ball immediately. Now, with other midfields, what you see is when the centre-backs are not dominant, there will be a gap between the centre-back and the midfielder, which means the midfielder has to do more to sweep up an area. So that's why, you cannot compare the Liverpool situation with Arsenal's or whatever it is. But anyway, going back to Liverpool points, what I think Liverpool need to do is to integrate Gravenberch in time. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to buy another player who's going to come into the team and settle in, and Gravenberch will never play. That's what it will mean. It's like what did you do with Navigator?
Why I said go into the transfer market is because, and that was what I was trying to explain. Maybe Klopp got cocky early in the transfer window, said we don't need to bring in a new midfielder, we're going to be fine. Then realized later that, oh shit, we need to bring in someone, and then he went and brought in Gravenberch. Because
Fabinho wasn't going to leave. That was the plan.
Fine. If you brought in Gravenberch and he's not been integrated, I'm wondering what was because you have to. The guy
he has been integrated though. He has been integrated. He starts Liverpool's matches. Liverpool's starting 11 is Enzo, McAllister, Gravenberch, and Szoboszlai. But because you don't have a DM, Gravenberch himself is a very attack-minded player. So he's very offensive. So when you have a defensive midfielder, Gravenberch will shine, flourish.
What you need is a DM. Actually, I don't even think, because these days the lines are blurred. I think for Liverpool and what they do, what you need is a workhorse that's also technical. And there are a lot of them. With what Liverpool try to do, I think what they need is a workhorse, but that's also technical. So you had that.
This Japanese guy they brought in. He looks like this thing you said. It's a very hard skill. We are people underrated. For a midfield player, to drop deep, get the ball on the half turn. It's a very difficult skill because against Crystal Palace,
that first phase,
Crystal Palace players won't kill this boy. As he collect ball like this, they don't collect them.
It's terrifying.
He's not. I don't think he's that technical. I don't think he's that. I don't think he's that technical. The Endo guy, he's not that technical, but he's very good in terms of covering the ground, marking people, winning balls and all of that. But in terms of giving him the ball on the half turn, he's not
the
that
biggest
good.
undoing for Klopp.
Paul Scholes said something.
The biggest undoing for Klopp would be signing too many technical players too. Klopp has stopped signing workhouses now. He's signing technical players too much. McAllister, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, they are all similar. And he's signing all of them.
Paul Scholes said something, right? And it's very, very, very important comment. He said, he said,
okay, go.
He said a Man United player, a Man United midfielder must be able to do all.
Yep.
Right? To play for Man United, right? The level of expectation means that you cannot have a player in United's team, and I believe the same will go for Liverpool and co. That is just, this is just my only job in the team. And again, without possible saying it, we made the example already with the Casemiro, Cruz, and Modric thing. All of them can do everything. Do you understand? At the base, at the heart of it, they are 6/10 on everything. You feel me?
Wale,
So
I think
I saw a comparison. Somebody made a comparison. Somebody said Kante or what player was that? One of the great midfielders. Kante, or was it Rodri? Something like that. I was like, Rodri doesn't come to Kante. With all due respect to, in fact, I push it a step further and I say that there are very few midfielders, right? And I don't think you can count 5, right, at the top of their game that you will pick over Kante. And those 5 that you will pick would be your Modric, They would be your Zidane.
Yeah.
They would be your
Totti.
Vieira. I'll pick Vieira over Kante.
It would be your
Vieira was a mount, but like Xavi.
Vieira was a
you'll be your Xavi, you'll be your Paul Scholes,
and he could play.
But aside that, I don't see many.
Steven Gerrard. Are you mad?
In the modern game, in the modern game,
I don't think you pick anyone over Kante. Kante is you see this way and say,
no. I beg go for you comment go full now. Modern game, Modric is modern game. I mean, where Modric can be? Modric is modern game.
No. See, I don't know even who Modric. No, wait. Because Modric get longevity.
What do you want to talk?
Make I talk now.
Bro, on a serious note.
Make I talk now.
And this is personal preference.
Breathe.
This is personal preference.
Make I finish my point.
Personal preference key here. If you gave me Luka Modric and gave me Conte, bro, no vex so. Is it that small black boy? I go carry him. You know why?
That's racism. That's racism. What you just did now, racism. Don't call it anything color. Why?
Whilst I like what Modric would do, whilst I like what Modric would do at the top end of the pitch, Kante, there was not a part in Kante's game that you could say he was deficient. He couldn't, you give him the ball, he doesn't know what to do with it. And that's the credit people gave Kante so much credit for what he did in front of the back four. That boy could play.
Kante was so good on the ball.
That boy could play football. Like that boy.
Yeah, he was Sarri. When Sarri went to play him up top, he still played well.
No, Sarri was an idiot.
Here's what I'm going to say. What I meant by the modern game. Modric obviously is part of this game now, but you saw that clip of Michael Owen saying that, back in the day, say we don't have actual pure footballers anymore. Say back in the day, you had to be like actual, like real, you need to have the skill, football brain, everything. He said now just know how to run. Say if you are quick, you can pass the ball. I'm saying like Modric came from that era. He just get longevity. He came from that era. He just get longevity. So I'm saying like this modern game of being a workhorse, being fast, being fit physically, Kante is on top of the food chain for this modern game of this.
Shout out to Ranieri, man. Shout out to Ranieri, man. Ranieri gave us that gift, man.
Yeah.
Ranieri gave the world that gift.
And
I told you I saw a video.
I was going to say Liverpool need to go into the transfer market and get this Fulham boy. If you get that, because I'm thinking in my head, who do you get?
Paulinho.
Go if you get Paulinho, Liverpool, get Paulinho in. You're good.
I'm hearing from the grapevine that my owner Stan Kroenke wants to sign another check for that Paulinho. I'm hearing from the grapevine. I don't know how true it is.
No, do you know what I think is happening?
I don't know how true it is.
Do you know what I think is happening?
But I think Partey is leaving. Partey is leaving in January. I think that is fed up.
Do you know what I think is happening?
The 48. He's fed up of the 48-year-old Ghanaian.
But
I think Paulinho can cause a very serious threat to Declan Rice.
Yes, yes.
You don't want to cause that problem in your team.
But I don't know. No.
Paulinho is
better than
Paulinho is a
Declan Rice on the ball.
Declan Rice is an enforcer. Arteta doesn't want Declan Rice in front of the back four. He wants somebody in front of the back four. That's why he wants to sign the DM. He wants Declan Rice to be his enforcer. And Declan Rice obviously wants to go forward. He wants to be the guy who is up and down the pitch. He doesn't want to sit.
To be fair, I think if I dig in my tweet, if I dig in my tweets, right, the first time I saw Declan Rice play, if I dig into my old tweets, right, the first time I saw Declan Rice play for West Ham, the person he reminded me of was Matic. Well, Matic.
Okay.
Yeah, Matic. Yeah. That's the person that he reminded me of, and I'm so happy that the guy has gone on to fulfill that level. Like the first time I saw him, I was like, and also Matic was United. I was like, this is the guy that used to replace Matic. Like this is the guy that used to replace. Like he's the same thing.
I'll tell you something. I don't think Arsenal needs Paulinho. You guys, don't overcomplicate things.
Bro, if Partey was fit there,
Wait, make I finish. I don't think you need Paulinho.
We'll go keep us for this
replace Partey. If you want to replace Partey,
if Partey was fit there.
If you want to replace Partey,
that thing was the one for beginning of season was a mad tactic. I can't lie.
I don't think Paulinho is the guy you replace Partey with. Because I was just saying, I don't even think Paulinho is as good.
You can't. I think it's just you can't have two players of the same quality in the DM, because no matter how you look at it, Declan Rice will only play this. That's
they are too close. You understand? Forget what you're saying. They're too close. Stay in front of the defense.
You see that thing that Arsenal.
You see that thing with Arsenal
were doing. See that thing Arsenal were doing with Partey and Timber at the beginning of the season. If those two players stayed fit,
yeah,
very few teams will dominate Arsenal in the game. Very few teams.
Yeah.
Very few teams. That thing that he was doing with Partey and Timber. When I saw it, I said, you don't climb mountain.
If you want to replace Partey, you get a younger guy that's also technical on the ball, really good, but he's also like Partey is
300 million. I'll give you young Kobe Maino.
Come on, get that.
Young,
there's a boy.
But that boy looks like he's going to be special.
The boy can play.
I think he's going to be special.
That boy can see.
I don't get excited about young stars. The attributes I look for when I see young players play in a team that is under pressure. They went to Goodison Park under a lot of pressure. They needed to win the game. The boy was unfazed. He was unflustered. He just moved around the pitch. He was dropping deep. He was asking for the ball. He was just enjoying himself. And it's a special attribute to have for a player that young in such a hostile environment. I think he's going to be a special boy. The problem is that club that he's playing for.
There's a boy at Borussia Mönchengladbach. Sorry, go on.
Also was saying that when he watches Kobe, that's a Man United player that can do everything. Midfielder can do everything. There's not a part of his game like when he's pressing high up. When he's pressing high up, he doesn't look like he doesn't have legs. Like he's so confident in every phase of play. And for a kid, he's telling people where to go. Like, go there, I'll reach you. You just vacate this area for me. Vacate this area. You get
a young boy.
No. I'll say price. I'll say price. He's
playing for a contract. He's playing for a professional contract.
No.
So
he's a Ghanaian kid, Baba. He's a Ghanaian boy. That's how when this idiot Cameroon, they told them Mbappe was playing. See, African footballers are the best footballers in the world. And they tell you.
My brother. I was watching the Premier League the other day. And I was just thinking to myself, I said, what African footballers have done for European football. If you were to take out African players from European football, all African players say, don't play in Europe again. Football would be very boring for you.
No, it is not what African players
more like what European football
it is what they have African players for European football.
No, more like what Europeans have done for Africans.
More like what Europeans have done for Africans. I was saying that the boy
build that kind of thing for a village. Where you want the money?
There's a boy at Borussia Mönchengladbach, Manu Kone. That's the boy you should go and get to replace Thomas Partey.
Where does he play?
Borussia Mönchengladbach. That's the boy you take. You are not giving him the responsibility to come and be your DM. Declan Rice is dead. You are not giving him the responsibility to come and be your DM. Declan Rice is dead. Go and watch the boy. I'll give you a name now. You know who we scout. Go and watch the boy and see.
I said that that's so many. I said that. Is it Traumani?
Traumani is a top player now. What are you on about?
What did he make on top?
He's been injured now since.
He's been injured. He's
a top player now.
Top player.
That's
when you see Partey play, Partey play ball like say in day in Palo.
So play ball. Yeah, you guys play ball.
He they play ball like saying they in Palo, in the whole ball.
Okay, I beg. Partey and Mikel. Who can play ball pass?
Which Mikel?
Mikel will be now.
Now Partey now.
Mikel will be and Partey.
Now Partey now.
Partey
I say Partey. I say Partey because on top of everything that he did in midfield, he took more risks. His game style, he's a guy that takes more risks, with his passes, with his attempt at goal, with his dribbles. He's a guy that takes more risks.
Mikel go see the US Army point gun at you, 4 men pointing gun at you, go see give you pass. You don't see that meme. Where four people they point gun at person right say Mikel go see you like this, he go see passport give you.
You know why? Oh, that was bad, bro. But you see, that's why I used to say that time when Mikel was playing for Chelsea, that I used to say that I thought Mikel would have been perfect for that Barcelona team. Why was that? Yeah. It was that it's not about the number of people where they mark the person where I want to give ball. It's about the fact that I'm playing this to his feet. I expect him, even if now me go play and back. Now the one touch and the quickness of play, now the strength therefore. No be one touch here, we keep him moving. That it would have been perfect for that Barcelona team.
But I feel like the best before we go to United and Chelsea and we wrap it up for today. I feel like the best the best African box-to-box midfielder. Yeah, true. I don't think it's anybody know the kind of boy Toure.
No.
Yeah.
No
very
question.
senior.
Yeah.
Very senior than the most
senior. Yeah, monster.
You know what game comes to mind? I think it was 2014 when that season at Liverpool bottled the title. There's a game against Aston Villa. You know, he took the ball from the middle and he ran. It was a midweek game. I still remember. And the commentator was screaming, "He's a hard man to stop. He's not going to do it." But they run.
And they were trying to bring him down. Where he just they go.
Yeah, God, he just they go. No, Toure was. Yeah,
like I always say, Pogba should have been. Pogba, if Pogba was half as good, Pogba should have tried to be half as good as Yaya Toure. Like,
I agree.
Toure
was just unbelievable.
I think that you see that Pogba thing. It's good that you mentioned it. And now that we're moving on because this is general. Is that general thing that we'll be talking about? The profile of players coming through now. Is that you see these players now? Once the thing that they know that comes natural, that they know how to do, I can dribble, or I can pass, or I can do this leg over. Once those flimsy things where they believe say they can do, no get the job done, they are done.
Once those things, I'll send it. I'll promise you. I promise I'll send this video to everybody after this. I shared when we get back to the studio, the podcast is sweet. I promise everybody, man. I shared with one thing. Where's that we talk? We can spend a whole 2 hours talking about that content.
I'm telling you.
We can spend 2 hours. But there's another video I saw about some guys talking about Garnacho, right? And the key thing they said is that when they watch Garnacho play, the academy has not coached out of him the street smartness in his game.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, the guy said, I can't explain as well as the guy did, but I'll try. The guy said, when you pass the ball to a winger, these wingers in the academies in the Premier League in Europe, when you pass the ball to a winger, they hold the ball. There's a defender in front of them, right? They hold the ball, they delay. They're waiting for the overlap. You understand? Then they pass back to create a triangle. And when they pass to Garnacho, what he does, he doesn't wait. It's nice to wait, but sometimes he just turns and starts going. You understand? Sometimes he just, makes a step. He wants to take you on. Now, that's not the playbook of an academy player. An academy player, they coach, when you grow up on the streets, right? You are not coached every single phase of attack.
No.
That the players they are making now, right? All these Rashford, them, all these Amad Diallo, all these players they bring up. They pass the ball to them, they bring it inside. They now bring it inside.
Now all the players where you below like in the fight for your head one dimension.
You get they will pass back inside.
I'm not even thinking about it as far academy teach you this or academy don't teach you. My own is that there's at some point as a footballer, you would understand, and obviously if you played on the street and everything, it helps you earlier understand it. You will understand that this game, as much as it is technical battle, it is also a battle of wit and will. So irrespective of the amount of skill,
I personally think football it's a game more of heart and wit and the desire you have before it's technique, because so I think it's more of that.
So that's why
because when they ask Haaland, when you see Haaland make a 10-yard sprint for a ball and the ball doesn't come, and 2 minutes later there's another opportunity to make that same sprint, he makes it again. There's only one thing that can make that happen, and his heart, his desire. He wants to be in that space.
You see, that's what I mean by, you see these players now, once that leg over, that flick on, that once you don't walk, they're you see, the battle of Baba today for sheer. There's something that just enters your head, your mind, when you understand it, you know that okay, don't be say I don't go make mistake, but I will keep doing this. See, I will keep coming. That one time that you will make mistake, I will be there.
Didn't you watch Drogba and Tevez? You know Drogba and Tevez? They will not see this two defenders there. They go put their hand like inside the two defenders. Say today, I must divide.
It is a battle of.
You understand?
It is a battle of desire. Forget skill, forget technical, forget leg over.
I go pass. If I want.
That's why I like this guy so much now. That's why I like Saka so much now. If you notice Saka can dribble. He get times when he will dribble, the dribble will come off. But you can tell that there's something in this game where he just did like say, Baba, see, we'll get this job done. Against Chelsea, it felt like the entire Arsenal team at 2-0. Don't be like say, second half, be like say we don't lose this game. As I see that one goal back into the game, Saka find that equalizer. He find out. He was there. That thing that he was doing it even before that 2-0. He was until 2-1. He find that equalizer.
That's why I pity. That's why I pity all the. I pity all the. Saka is going to be a problem for a lot of teams. Not in terms of how he plays, but in terms of players and the English FA trying to replicate another Saka. You get it? Because you will not be able to do it now because he's brought up in academy, right? He's one of one. You're not going to make.
There are not a lot of them.
Another Saka. You get it? Because what he does, he uses his academy upbringing to better assimilate instructions of how the team wants to play, right? But what he does on his own is, this is my understanding of the game in this moment.
Yeah.
You understand? This is what the game needs in this moment. In this game, the methods are not working. You understand? This team has shut us down. So for the last 15 minutes, what I've done constantly is I carry the ball, I bring it inside. You know, this time when I call the ball like this, I'm going to go outside. That's outside where I go. I'll shoot to my right foot.
You understand? See this guy. This thing that you're saying is the reason. If I watch these guys, for example, now, Cole Palmer, for example, you can tell he's a good player. You sabi play ball. You can tell that he sabi play ball. But you can also tell that mental shift never happened. That thing in your mind that's like, for here today, we die. They give out one cut back. They give out one cut back against Everton. You open the body, make the ball come in left. Bro, you're in the box. Knock out your right leg.
You're not serious.
Against him when they don't collect 10 points.
10 points. You're not serious. You're not serious.
When they don't collect 10 points, you say make they wait for you, make the ball enter your left. You're not a serious person.
You remember when Sterling came up? That's why the best players in the world, you get them Suarez, they are not academy products. You understand?
Yes, now.
Them Suarez, they don't play convention. You understand?
That's exactly the problem of football
by convention. And that's why when you watch Sterling early in his career, Sterling didn't play with convention.
Yeah.
Sterling will not hold the ball, start running at people,
he does the run at any fucking body.
And now that he's had his renaissance, because I feel like Sterling is, in my opinion, Chelsea's best player at the moment, right?
Especially going forward.
Right. What he has gone back to is this is how I all this thing when they tell me since all Man City training when they train me since pass the ball, turn, move it, give, go. When Sterling hold ball now, in first man I say I want to go to
yes.
That's what I want to go to, and that's what I want to arrive there.
Because me, in my mind, sometimes I sit in front of the TV, I watch these players, and I'm thinking, I don't understand why I'm in the gym throughout the week. I'm training throughout the week. I'm doing all these things throughout the week. And then we come on the match day. I'm trying to go forward. This opposition player is stopping me because he's the defender. We die.
Yeah. You get so where is the point? Where is the point where you store up all this muscle and you can't use it at any point in the game? Do you understand?
So you want to be. I look at Mudryk. Oh, every time they give you the ball, the first thing you want to do is leg over. The first thing you want to do is, my guy, all this gym where you dey gym, they go just collect ball for your leg easily. Are you mad?
Now academy work now. Now academy work.
If you don't do leg over, you don't end with that.
As a winger,
Well,
the winger, they give
you
me the
go put body on top you. There's nothing you can do. You are there.
I saw it too. Somebody said that Neymar played at a higher level than Ronaldinho. I said, close down your mouth. That thing where you talk, so close down your mouth. Neymar Ronaldinho. Are you crazy?
You think his name are mad or his family is mad?
I mean, because of 6-1, the comeback, 6-3, I've been waiting to play. Now when I say Neymar,
you see again,
high level than Ronaldinho.
You see again, that's why the biggest problem people have with Jose Mourinho is that he's far ahead of his time. That is football heritage rant. People are understanding it better every single season. They didn't understand it then. They didn't get it. The guy they talk about, this player, that player, what level is this player? This guy has never played in the Champions League final. This guy has never won the Premier League. This guy is different level. They didn't understand it then.
Speaking of which, right? You know, the guy said, Mourinho said, look at the United players when they leave United.
Look where they
play, how they play, if they play.
Guy,
he's mad. I see one. He said, do you think that this Sevilla team we just come out us now? Say this player don't get out of midfield. There was this guy in that midfield that year. There was one guy who get hair like this, one Argentine guy who did that midfield. Was it Aima? You know, Aima was in that team. There was another guy in that team. You know, bro, it was crazy. But anyway, I wanted to let's touch Chelsea and United before we wrap it up, right? And let's start with United. And this is why I feel like, you know, people think that Gary Neville is crazy, but he's not crazy. You know, Gary Neville says a lot of shit, right? But Gary Neville is not crazy. You know why? He's not crazy.
He says a lot of composure. A lot of composure.
A lot of composure, a lot of eloquence. You know, fair play to him. He's honed his craft. You know, but you see,
maybe that first time we made sweat for studio.
Idiot, in sweat, you get. You know, in a fidget. But you see that thing he says about the club having a very strong leadership above the manager is very important. It's very, very important. Very important. You see, these last few days, I don't watch Ten Hag. I don't look and say the guy has a real problem, and I think he might not succeed in the job. Not because he's not good enough to manage United, but the same problem where others can get. In just begin to find out the problem. You understand? Now, the problem is simple. He has seen the problem. There are players that he needs to leave the club, right? But those players, he cannot move them because he has to be the one to make that call. So there's nobody to alibi him when he makes that call and says, you know what, this is our, because if he makes that call, when the call goes wrong or goes right,
it will be on him alone.
It'll be on him alone. You understand? Now, when Pep Guardiola makes a call, right? He makes the call, but he pushes it to, you know, if he decides to push it to the football director.
He can afford to say,
you
are not Kevin De Bruyne, you are not Fernandinho,
you can afford to do it. You understand? You see this Maguire thing? I was watching the Bayern Munich game. And United will continue having these inconsistencies as long as you see players like Maguire, and they're not stupid. Maguire is not a terrible football player, right? He's a good football player.
No, he's not.
But there's a level that is you cannot operate beyond. Now, when Maguire was playing, you see him make a lot of, you know, in the last 1 month, Maguire has made the most interceptions, made the most blocks, most tackles, and everything like that. You know why? Because he's in the wrong position. You get constantly. So he's having to make last-ditch attempt to win the ball. Now, I credit him for trying to do what the manager wants him to do, right? Play proactive, because this is how United want to play. The Chelsea game is the first time in Ten Hag this season that he has said, you know what? Fuck the players that I have. I'm going to go ahead and execute the system the way, because everybody is saying me, what is your style of play? So, fuck the my limitations. Everybody, this is how I want to play. Go and play. Now, if you want that Chelsea game back that everybody keeps talking about, the way Chelsea had some chances to score United and probably have won the game But if United have just two sets of defenders that are different, Chelsea don't get those chances. Right? If United have a Saliba and a Gabriel or Saliba and Van Dijk, you don't get those chances. You know why? Because it's simply down to in the end, we're going to play very high up, but we're going to concede a lot of 1v1s, right? But going back to the points, when they swapped Johnny Evans with Maguire, when Maguire got injured, United automatically started having a bit more control of the ball. So Rufai shared me a video where Maguire does a lot of things well, but he's afraid to receive the ball.
Very afraid to receive the ball.
Right,
but I thought they said it was a ball playing centre back when they signed him.
That thing. We have to expatiate on it. Now you can be good on the ball. No, you can be good on the ball, but you need to have the ball IQ. Do you understand? Maguire doesn't have good ball IQ. Now Johnny Evans, who is one of the, I can see why City wanted to sign him a couple of years ago just to have backup. Now when Johnny Evans receives the ball from Onana, go and check the position he was taking up. When he receives the ball, he goes out wide immediately. Now, when Maguire receives the ball,
if his positioning, that Bayern Munich game, Maguire is very bad with positioning, because every time Onana gets on the ball, because when you see Saliba, Saliba makes it very easy for the goalkeeper. Every time, Gabriel can be a slouch sometimes, but with Saliba, every time the goalkeeper has the ball, Saliba always makes sure that the goalkeeper has an angle. He makes it so easy. He makes it so easy for the goal. Sometimes Saliba can be in a position where he doesn't need to want to open up for the goalkeeper. But every time the goalkeeper gets on the ball, you see him scampering. He will run into a position where the goalkeeper has to, if he doesn't give it to Gabriel, give it to me.
You know what
Maguire, I would see
Maguire passing the ball. Maguire is in front of Onana, in front.
Maguire will go and stand in front of a defender, like an attacking player, or just go. He will be backing the goalkeeper. How do you do that,
bro? There were times he will back the goalkeeper. You can't see the goalkeeper in the Bayern Munich game. There were at least 4 times where the goalkeeper was in front of Onana. You get now. Onana receives the ball. No, sorry, Maguire in front of Onana was behind Onana. Onana received the ball. Onana is like, let's move up. You understand? Now, what's your job? To open the angles, right? Because if you're a right footer, you can pass like this. That's your inside foot. If you're a right footer, you can pass inside your foot. You understand? And you can pass, outside your, like this way. So those are your 2 primary angles. The most difficult pass you will make is the pass like this. If you're a right footer. Do you understand? So that's why, the Peps of this world, they create triangles. So if a player is a left footer, that's why if you're Ederson, for example, when Ederson gets the ball, you run to your byline because he's a left footer. That's why he can pass this way, like you get to his left. You understand? And he cannot pass. So the City defenders run to their byline, right to him, and run vertical to him. Do you understand? Because he can pass like this.
To that side of his left.
They don't go to that side.
No.
But you know what?
Because you will need to use it right to make that pass.
To pass to that side. Same thing when they're passing the ball to him as well. They don't pass the ball to his right leg.
No, that's dangerous.
You get. You know what Maguire does? He passes the ball to Onana and stays behind Onana. So Onana doesn't have an angle to play the right foot to. That's why a lot of times he makes the kick long. If you watch his thing, he makes the long kick. The long kick to Garnacho. I watch this thing like crazy.
Trenches.
So for me, that's why I said that I don't zero my mind and say this guy will not make it at United unless somebody takes that recruitment policy and offloading policy by the bull and throw the players away. Maguire will never be good enough for United.
Speaking of which, they said Sir Jim Ratcliffe has had a conversation with Graham Potter. That's the guy that Ten Hag. My God.
He cannot.
My God.
He cannot.
Well, you see about
Graham Potter is a good manager. Graham Potter is a good manager.
You say what?
Graham Potter is a good manager. He's a very good manager.
He's not. He wasn't good enough for Chelsea.
No.
But he will be good enough for Man U.
Sometimes things have way to. The one that is there now, is he better than Graham Potter?
He is. Thank you.
How is he better than Graham Potter?
He is. Oh,
I mean, when Unai Emery signed Pau Torres, does Pau Torres start for Aston Villa?
I think if he's fit, yes, he does.
Yeah, he starts for Aston Villa. Yeah.
Pau Torres.
Who Aston Villa's starting centre backs? I beg.
What's this guy's name? Tyron Mings plays for Aston Villa now.
This guy is injured. What's his name? Tyron Mings is injured at the moment.
Okay.
Before
plays for right
before
back.
Pau Torres used to be Tyron Mings and Ezri Konsa. And then they signed that Diego Carlos guy last season. When he came, he broke his ACL when he came. So he didn't play at all last season. So this season, he's obviously the starting player. They moved Konsa to the right full back. And Pau Torres is centre back with him.
Tyron Mings will never enter that team. Just the watch.
I don't think
That one is sure.
Yeah.
Even if he's fit.
Because Pau Torres, Pau Torres is one of those defenders that when they come to the Premier League, you fear for them because he's not. I can outpace that guy.
But fear not. He's here.
But the understanding of the game the guy has as a centre back, it's just unbelievable.
If you sabi play ball, you just sabi play ball. Nothing.
You sabi play ball.
If you sabi play ball,
if you sabi play ball, come this league, they give you Callum Wilson or football through like this, and he uses.
It's only a matter of time. See, even if you come, they give you Callum Wilson. A matter of time. You understand that okay, this is what these people want to use against me. You know how you adjust accordingly. Know where you stay. Know where you.
Yeah. Let's wrap up with Chelsea. I beg. This I've seen a lot of Chelsea fans not happy with. And by the way, what Aston Villa are doing with the offside trap is incredible, but it will soon backfire. But incredible.
Over 4.5 opponents offside. My brother, 3 odds. Not 1 million, collect 3 million.
But bro, Aston Villa, man.
The problem is that where that first 1 million where you not will come from.
That Unai Emery, he's a.
Unai Emery is building something special there.
He's a school teacher.
That stadium is literally bouncing. Like when you go to Aston Villa now, it feels like you are going to Anfield. It's the fans are from the blast of the whistle, they are up for it, and he's building something really good there. I hope.
For me, if I'm him, I hear that United they say that they're speaking to intermediaries, all those things. If he knows what is good for him, he should not leave that place.
No, as a coach, some clubs come for you, you go. But it doesn't mean you succeed. Because I don't think Unai Emery will do well. He will succeed at United. I honestly feel like
that's what I'm saying.
He's at a place where he can really do well.
He's at a place where they can allow him to walk. They will not allow you to walk at United.
That's the problem.
They will not allow you to walk.
That's the problem.
When other clubs, when United were busy flying the whole USA, going from Michigan to Detroit. From Detroit, they go land for Canada. They played 3 games for a year. Those ones were working on the training ground. Players were understanding what they were saying. These idiots, Mr. Mount, them were busy taking pictures and doing interviews up and down.
I can't believe it. You people paid us 60 million for Mr. Mount.
But what really happened with Mr. Mount?
No, Mr. Mount. I think that any player that's injury prone should start doing his masters on the side.
Mount is not injury prone now.
Mr. Mount is very injury prone.
No, he's not.
Mr. Mount was beginning to.
This guy injury he don't get for Man U, so he never get up like this for Chelsea.
He has had 4 injuries back to back. 4.
Everybody they get injured.
The last game when he came on against it was Everton. Came on. I was like, okay, I see what you're doing. He started to get himself, technical. I can see. Next game, I just hear say they say Mr. Mount is not. They say he's out for 4 weeks. I say, who wound down? Who wound down now? Like,
yeah, you see, I think that
Caicedo and Enzo, what's the you like say Declan Rice had left Caicedo in the mud.
I saw Caicedo. I don't know if you've seen this message he dropped. He said he's not the real Moses for now, but he knows that he's going to give Chelsea fans something to cheer about. That's what he said. He said that he thanks the manager for the manager defending him. That the manager has been defending, but he knows that he's not at his levels yet.
So
I like it because
say, like I always say,
you want players to be brutally honest. He's not been the player you expected him to be. But I have no doubt. I have no doubt whatsoever. I have no doubt whatsoever that he's going to come good because number one is South American.
You see,
number one is South American. If he was an English player, I know that one is Otilo. But this one, is South American.
The only caveat I have is I hope his contract is not over £300,000. But if it's over £300,000, he's gone.
You see,
I hope.
I only say my own is this. I appreciate that. As a player, you say you take responsibility. I've not been my best self, which truly he has not been his best self. But in my opinion, the entire team, there's a reason the entire team has been like this. That's not a Caicedo problem or an Enzo problem.
Yeah.
It's not. As a matter of fact, when Enzo came in January, Enzo signed
the face of defeat.
And the next game, I think 2 days or 3 days after he played, was one of the best.
That Liverpool game, right?
Yeah, was one of the best players. I think it was a Liverpool game.
Liverpool or West? No, West Ham. It was the West Ham game. West Ham.
It was West Ham.
West Ham.
So where I'm going is first of all, for Enzo and Caicedo first. Caicedo came, played his first game 2 days after, no preseason, went on international break, had a knee injury. He comes back, himself and Enzo, sometimes they come back for a Premier League game a day before the Premier League game. So there are a lot of factors. Then you come into a team, like I always say, you bring in the same Declan Rice, because I know every time people talk about Caicedo, it's Declan Rice, and I don't know why they bring them to that, because I think that their roles are executed in the team in a different way. Two different ways, two different players. But because these days people love these are centre backs, these are defensive midfielders, these are wingers, people love to do that a lot. Caicedo is not even Caicedo is similar, doesn't have the skills of N'Golo Kante, but is similar in role to Kante. He's not a DM or that's not who he is.
But in the team, in the Chelsea team, that's what he's executing in Chelsea team.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about people talking about Caicedo and Rice as comparing two players because there was a transfer. Whatever situation.
But you can understand why.
When you did it for Nunes and Haaland, it was fit for you, Abi. Now you know how it is, Abi.
So Rufai,
when you did it for Nunes and Haaland, you enjoyed it, Abi.
Because everybody did, but you say make Caicedo they good. Is that what you're saying?
You enjoyed it, Abi.
Because
when it was Nunes and Haaland, you enjoyed it, Abi.
Because everybody for the
Nunes joined Liverpool the same time Haaland joined Man City. They were comparing the two that time. We were enjoying
it. Compare them. Me, Abi, who? When you say when you do one for Darwin Nunes, what's it concern me and Darwin Nunes? So
Rufai is trying to say that because everybody for Chelsea they play well, more don't say Caicedo they play well.
Now senior man.
That's podcast heritage. Oh no.
That's senior man. Podcast heritage. I said to God because everybody they bad. No talk say you. Anyways, so the point I'm making is simply the entire team. I'll say this same Declan Rice. The first that Arteta did what? First, second season, 8 and 7th. You bring this same Declan Rice, not Declan Rice of 3 seasons ago. This same Declan Rice, as good as he is now, you put him in that team when Arteta came, that they made 8 and everything. you definitely don't get the same results because the team is at a certain level of team building. So which is why people love to always say, but you people buy this one they bought right, this one they bought Declan Rice. I understand it's banter, but since we're analyzing, I can appreciate what you're saying. I'm not at my best. I mentioned all of these things to be why you might not be at your best as Caicedo. But I don't even think that, Caicedo has been bad. No, that's not the point. The entire team has been nothing close to being good enough as far as a football player. And I told someone, which day I said, this day and age is the worst time to pay a certain amount of money for a player and expect performances based on that amount that was paid. The biggest money gets you the variance minimum these days. So it's better you look at the player and look at what they are actually good at. Not to say, I pay 100 million, so you should have had 10 goals by now, and you should have had 15 assists by now. All of that doesn't matter. As far as a football player, I think Caicedo has been decent. In my opinion, he's been good enough as regards where the team is now. Because you have your goalkeeper is not short, your backline is not short.
So take your word over Caicedo word. Is that what you're saying? So my word against Caicedo word.
No, but it's true. Your backline is not trying to pander to Chelsea fans. Your goalkeeper is not assured. Your backline is today this one play, tomorrow that one play, tomorrow is not assured. So you get that.
And football fans can be very funny. They don't realize that these things, players cannot be, no matter how good a player is individually, players cannot be so good, in isolation. And when the team is not balanced, the team is not playing well. Players cannot be good in isolation, no matter how good the team is. Sometimes you can single out players for individual brilliance and all of that, but the team has to be balanced for the real qualities of good players to come out. If you are struggling, every time they are attacking Chelsea, you go turn this side, nobody they don't know where they go. They do waiting nobody send them.
That idiot me. You always go boss me. You go say how far when I go say hold long.
So they look me, they drag you like they let you be rest.
He say you be understand once Araba don't play well, everything they okay. He say, don't be lying. Once Araba don't play well like this, I don't sign up that day. Say,
and you see to add, in my opinion, what Mourinho said is just perfect. Again, it's football heritage. You see, with Liverpool, for example, you built a team for what, 7-8 years. You've won the Champions League, you've won the Premier League. Now, some players have left. You've brought in some new ones. But the culture is there. This is a team that you have built that has won the Champions League and the Premier League. It's not like you have started building a completely new team from the scratch. If you gather a new set of boys that are not now even experienced boys, you will be going up and down until you stable. Chelsea fans are just true, and you expect that the Chelsea fans that claim that we have won so much in the last 20 years, they are supposed to be the ones that know the reason why they won so much, but they don't. Their own is just
so that's you have made a good thesis for Caicedo. Let's hear it for Enzo.
But I said Caicedo and Enzo together separate.
No. What Caicedo has given his own reason. What's Enzo's own reason?
Caicedo's reason. We have given the reason for Caicedo and Enzo together.
Because
how many of the players?
You want me to take your word against Caicedo word? So now wait, Enzo never talk. This is a chance for you to take your word.
Wait, how many of the players? Maybe that time, Amazing go say altitude of La Paz. I don't think they call out. Say Messi go for how many of these players? I'm telling you, Enzo and Caicedo, they come back a day before a Premier League game.
But that's what happens now. South America is very far, and when they
go and play on Saturday afternoon.
When they play, when they play international week, that international games, a lot of countries finish their international games on Tuesday. Some people Monday. In South America, they finish on Wednesday. Like these, if they are playing Tuesday, they are playing Wednesday morning. That's when they finish. So they now leave by Thursday, get to England by Friday. If you have game on Saturday, you have to play. And so some of these countries are so far from England. 18 hours, 16 hours.
All you need to do
20 hours.
All you need to do is look at your map. Look at the world map. You will see where South America is. You will see where Europe is. You don't need to go far. Just look at your map, you see it. But also, I think Klopp said it that we just received this player. Like press conferences are for Ten Hag, for example. Ten Hag does press conference at 1:30 on Fridays. That's when Ten Hag does press conferences. Then Klopp them do their own on 12 o'clock thereabout. So he was saying that Luis Diaz just landed, like he just saw him. He just came in.
He just came in like, yeah.
You understand? And that is always traditionally the last training session. You understand? So you can see how, but in the end, nobody say make anybody collect pounds a week. So all that.
No, I mean, I feel like the team, you have to. That's why I don't agree with everybody. This Pochettino, they must fire him. I'm not a Pochettino fan, but I'm looking at what you have assembled.
You can't fire him.
Inexperienced players.
The way it's going.
You can't fire him.
The way it's going,
it will be.
I think Pochettino's guys are feeding the media that there are no good players in that team. Because I've seen that story. I've seen that story.
They're bad players. They are not good enough.
For outlets. I'm like, this is another. We're talking about another 200 million, 300 million pounds easily. Because
it's madness.
What I'm reading between the lines is that some of these boys, all these, maybe now Chukwueze and Modric, Chukwueze, all these boys, they are not supposed to be in the team or something like that. That he's just having to work with them. And I'm like, if that is the case, these children are on 8 years contract, and the Premier League ratified this 5-year payments for transfer thing. I'm like, this might be a problem on the horizon.
It's not a problem. Chelsea voted in support of the 5 years.
Not the problem.
It is not a problem at all. Chelsea voted in support of the 5 years. They've gotten what they want to get already. They are voting for the 5 years. What I think is that if you are, like we always say, if you are building a team, there has to be something that you have done. Because Pochettino himself said it when they hired him. Said before we came in with the sporting whatever, we analyzed every player. There were players that obviously they already bought before they signed him, and there were players that they obviously made decisions together to get. He was saying it before the season started, we're looking for solutions. So there were players that were in the club before they signed it. So that will always happen. So
my brother said, Pochettino problem. You don't see team. Yeah, building a new team, lots of young players, new signings. Yeah, obviously it will take time to build. You don't come and say, I'm a winner, I want to win now. Now where the problem they be that Ten Hag come last
year. You don't be winner when the errors come to an end. You want to be winner.
He said errors come to an end.
Errors come to an end. What do you make you talk?
Keep quiet.
That's what you talk. Keep quiet.
Do work.
For me, I think
Liverpool knock up.
I think Ten Hag
this era will still there for a long time.
This era is not ending anytime soon. I believe that Ten Hag, especially Ten Hag, is a victim of his first season success, and it's the same thing happened with Mourinho.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah, that last season, he covered too many United fans' eye. Say, we finished just behind us now.
You see, God bless you. This is what I like. I don't want any Chelsea people to be doing, we used to win. This is below us. Shut up your mouth. Everything that you used to win that time has been thrown out of the club. You have to build a game. You must build a game. Forget all this, this is not how we used to do it. They should sack the manager and bring another one. You will not do it. See.
Yeah. They can't say that to Pochettino because Chelsea finished 8th in last season.
Yes.
So you can't say that to Pochettino.
8th. They finished 12th.
You can't say that. 12.
No, you can't.
Chelsea are
a manager must spend.
It will be foolhardy to find
2 years. When a club, when the structure, the fabric, the culture has been eroded completely, right? A manager must spend 2 years at that club before you start considering his position in the job.
More so when you have handed him, you have
invested with him.
So many new players are adding young players.
You understand?
Lots of young, inexperienced.
Too many young players.
I think there are a lot of good players there that are good enough to play in the Premier League.
Of course.
But not good enough to compete at the highest level of the Premier League immediately. There's nobody.
But that comes
for Chelsea.
Young
for Chelsea,
players.
Those two things don't exist.
That comes to young players.
For Chelsea, it means only one thing: they're not good enough to play for the club. That's what it means. Because like Chelsea,
the reality. When Arsenal lost the Champions League to Tottenham, that game they lost 3-0. They bottled the Champions League the season before last. They went to Newcastle and got battered. People said, "Oh, lots of young players." But what I've come to realize is that if you have a group of young players for a while, and they go through disappointments like that, it builds character. It builds character. They realize that Arsenal qualified for the Champions League. Arsenal were sure they were going to play in Champions League by February of this year. They were in a position where they were so comfortable. And that came from a place of this group, they've been together for a while. That's why Arsenal, if the squad is together, you are confident that in the next 5 years, Arsenal will consistently be in the Champions League. Why? Because they have a group of players who have been together for a few years. And when you have a manager and you have a group of young players, you have to allow them grow. You have to allow them understand that Arsenal finished 8th for 2 seasons.
If you are bringing in
8th for 2 seasons.
If you are bringing in new players, but if you are bringing in new young players, and you're bringing them, and you already have maybe a core of maybe 3 senior men. Your center back, now senior man, where they dominating everything, senior man in the dressing room, senior man on the field, your goalkeeper, the same thing, maybe your midfielder or your striker. But you're bringing, but you know that these guys, you set the tone, that's a different thing. But you're saying you want to build something. These new young players you are bringing in, they are not going to cultivate this culture of this is our club and we have to fight everything for this club. They are not going to cultivate it themselves. You stick with one manager, that's what you want to build. The manager builds it. But you can't immediately be saying, "Oh, I have to fire him now."
And with young players, and the one thing with young players is that if players haven't won anything, it's harder to coach those kind of players. It's harder to get them to have the mentality to win. It's harder to make them, believe that they can win. When disappointments come, you can dust it off and go again. The next week. It's harder. And these things take a while. You've got to allow your players to really go.
Because the manager is the only one.
4 years ago, 4 years ago, when Saka made his debut for Arsenal, when Saka made his debut for Arsenal, I was like, Saka was very tiny. So Saka be like under 12. If he come Nigeria, he will play under 12 that year. He was very tiny. I'm like, why are you putting this kind of player in my team? At the time. But you know what Emery did for Saka? He was putting Saka in difficult moments. And that built Saka's character. Arsenal we're going through a bad time at the time, but he kept putting him. And the boy was learning. The boy was playing left back. He was playing left back. He was playing left wing. He was learning. So it takes these things take time. Let the team grow. When these players and the good thing is that you look at that Chelsea squad and you're like, these are good players. This is a team that they haven't lost to Liverpool. They haven't lost to Arsenal. They haven't lost to City. And those are the 3 best teams in England at the moment. They've not lost to those 3 teams. There's something there, because those players, they see Chelsea, they see Liverpool, they see Man City, they raise their game, they raise their level. Why? Because the big team is in town. That's something that will take a while for them to be able to do against Bournemouth, against Aston Villa, week in, week out. It takes time, but I think Chelsea will be fine.
My own issue with Poch, but I don't think my own is the same thing I said about Klopp. Oh, if this thing is Poch, if rain they fall, they fire they fall, join the rain, he will play his 4-2-3-1, nothing concerned. He will play his 4-2-3-1. So it's the same. That's one of the things I have with him. I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, we are building this team, but this is not working, especially in this game. These people don't sit back. It's become very stale. The player, okay, how about you tweak it? Let's see what 3 at the back brings. I don't know. That's because I never like a coach that is also this is one way. I never like this kind of managers. But having said that, that going forward now, it is now about okay, identify this player, not good enough. If you are able to sell it for good money, go. Now, whoever you bring in has to be someone with experience because you brought in what you believe to be quality young players. Now, it is about now shifting and balancing. Okay, this guy is not good enough, we can go. Bring in an experienced guy. So you build your team like that, to the point where you get to, okay, now we are ready to say we want to go and challenge consistently. Is this manager the right guy? If he's not the right guy, then he can go.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I think it's been a good one. It's been a good one. Yeah. We can let's leave it there. Right. 2 hours worth of recording. Thanks to everybody who's joined. Please leave a comment as well. Hopefully we have a first in-studio recording this year. We're very close. So we're very close. Thank you so much, guys. Wale, cheers. Rufai, see you guys soon. Bye-bye.
See you guys.